Well, I guess we just roll. This is a video that we haven't planned. How are you, Ben?
I'm good, unlike all the other videos that we do, which are
We at least with the other videos we come into it with a general sense of what we're going to do, and all we know is that we came to do the show and decided that we had nothing for the video, and we're just going to continue, I guess, the conversation of prison movies, which was the theme of Good Movie Monday this week. So I guess do that. I mean, I think you've got a bigger list of videos or movies to talk about than I do.
I do. We've gone through quite a few of them during the show. Quite a few of them got mentioned, but I'm surprised we didn't talk about. Although I think we have talked about it previously, we didn't talk about Escape from New York / Lockout. Two of
Yeah,
my two / one of my favorite prison movies of all time.
that's exactly it. Like, I mean, when I think about it, I don't think of prison movies, but it absolutely is a quintessential prison movie. It's just a
There is
futuristic one.
the entire island of Manhattan is a prison.
Yeah, what a film. Where does how do you think how does Escape from LA rate for you?
Ah, I don't spend much time thinking about it,
But
to be honest.
do you think it's aged better or worse than what? Because it's a very maligned film. A lot of people hate it, but I kind of think the passage of time has been very kind to it, and I think it's a great movie.
Look, the last time I saw it, the TikTok thing is really working here.
And that's not just me. That's not just me with my fascination for second rate sequels. I actually think it's a good sequel.
Funnily enough, the last time I saw it would have been about, say probably about 7 or 8 years ago. I was waiting to go see something at the Astor,
Hmm.
and my routine or my tradition when I would go see something at the Astor is that I'd get there an hour early and I'd go have dinner somewhere on Chapel Street. And because I used to work at Alternate Worlds on Chapel Street, so I was familiar with a lot of the places, and I like to kind of check in every now and then and see if those places are still there and stuff. And so this time there used to be two fish and chip shops right next to each other. They're actually owned by the same people, and just for whatever reason, sometimes the one on the left would be open, or sometimes the one on the right would be open. There'd be no rhyme or reason as to why they had two shops and why one would be open and why the other one wouldn't. But I went there. I thought I'll have a lovely fish and chip dinner, and on the TV was Escape from LA, and I was sitting there going, "Oh, do you mind if you volume up on that?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." Put the volume up. So I had my fish and chip dinner while watching Escape from LA, and like apart from the kind of the fun stuff of Bruce Campbell having a cameo and watching Peter Fonda,
Surf the
surf
tsunami.
the tsunami, and and Steve Buscemi running around as in the Ernest Borgnine kind of part. I don't really remember too much else about it. Like, and it's the last time I've thought about it. I
Yeah,
just, I was like, whatever. It's not classic Carpenter, so I don't really care.
fair enough. I am disappointed they never got the third movie made. It's a shame.
I'd much rather that he would have made, and I think the time frame is wrong, because I think Escape from LA is before, but I would rather he made a sequel to Ghosts of Mars. I was like, I want to know what happens after the aliens come to the matriarchal space station.
It's another one, Ghost of Mars, that just holds up well over time. Like, it was hokey at first, and now it's sort of
Oh, yeah.
aged. It ages well because of its hokiness.
I loved it. I loved it right from the start.
Yeah. Oh, I was on board right from the
It
start. I
was,
saw that in a cinema that had a blackout 5 minutes into the film, and like I think
oh wow.
I was the only person that was like willing to stay. Because everyone else was like, oh, this is an opportunity to leave. I was like, fuck you. Start it
The
from the
beginning
start,
part's
and
the
I'll
best.
go again.
I mean, it is like, and I would count Ghosts of Mars as a prison movie. I mean, they're on prisoner escort duty. That's why they're going to that town, and
Yeah.
they do go into a lot of it is spent in the jail block. It is. I would, it's tenuous, but I would count it as a prison movie. And I like it's shocking. Like, I went out and bought the DVD from a DVD import place when it first dropped, and listening to the commentary. And I had no idea that it was supposed to be Courtney Love was supposed to play the lead character, and dropped out like a couple of days before filming. And Natasha Henstridge, who happened to be married to the guy who I don't know if I've ever seen in anything else again. Like he's like the rookie, one of the rookies.
Yep.
But it's when Jason Statham was just, it's that British guy from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Like that was the only thing he'd really kind of done. And
people used to confuse him with Vinnie Jones back then.
Yeah. And he's great. Like he's a total sleazebag in this. And you're looking at him in that movie and you're like, how could this guy play anything but a sleazebag? And then you look at him now and he's evolved so much.
Hey, why didn't Vinnie Jones's career take off?
I don't know. Apparently he's a lovely guy. Like,
yeah, no doubt. But like, Statham just went boom, and Vinnie Jones had that moment where he was going up and up and up, and then just nosedived.
Yeah,
maybe he quit voluntarily. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like Vinnie Jones, I think it had probably had 10 years on Jason Statham somehow. I think,
and maybe has less range.
Even that, like I mean, like Jason Statham is leading man. I don't think Vinnie Jones was ever really going to be like he's the leading man in Mean Machine, but if the other movies that he could have been leading man in, Jason Statham is the leading man in those movies. Could you imagine Vinnie Jones in Crank? Vinnie Jones in The Transporter. Like it just like go back and think of all of those Jason Statham movies and switch it out. Like he'd be great in Wrath of Man. Like he'd be fucking great.
I actually could see him in Transporter, definitely.
I just not in the oil slick fight.
With the bike pedals on his feet.
Yeah, the fights would be different, but otherwise, totally.
Yeah, man. What are some others you got on your list?
American Me.
American Me. What's that one?
That's I always get this wrong. It's either Edward James Olmos or James Edward Olmos. I can never remember which way.
You almost got it right.
One of those is correct. It's about him. He plays a I think it's based on a real person, but he plays this guy who goes into prison at a young age and basically becomes like the head of like a major Latino gang in prison. And then when he gets out, he wants to go straight, but the lifestyle won't let him. And it was because it was around the same time. I also think it was around the same time as Stand and Deliver, which is actually what I thought it was the movie I was borrowing. Like I borrowed it from a video store, and I thought it was Stand and Deliver, and it was actually I was like, when does he get to be a teacher in a classroom in this?
He's in a movie recently that was written by Judy.
Judy Blume?
Name. No. Oh God.
Judy Nunn.
Judy Morris. Judy Morris from Razorback and Mother and Son. She's now a screenwriter. She just wrote a film with him in it. Fucked if I know the name of it though, but that's something people can look up.
Yeah, because we're not going to do it for him.
No.
We planted the seed. The rest of the job is yours.
I've got Brubaker down the Robert Redford film
with a very very early appearance by Morgan Freeman.
How does he sound?
Yeah, I can't quite remember what his voice is like. I think he had a more iconic voice.
Well, it was a nice try, but that's a good one. That and that was directed by Stuart Rosenberg, who made Cool Hand Luke and Pope of Greenwich Village. He's like, it's a good film. I think Amityville Horror as well. He's a fantastic filmmaker. Oh, right.
My only problem with Brubaker was that could you just imagine that you're a prison guard at a prison, and out of nowhere, some new inmate just comes up to you and goes, "Yeah, mate, I'm actually the warden."
Well, yeah. Let's lay some context for people. It's kind of undercover boss, isn't it? It's all about the prison warden that arrives at a new prison, but then goes undercover as an inmate for I think a week, something like that. And
he wants to see what's wrong with it.
Not only what's wrong with it, he wants to see how his own guards behave as well as the inmates and all that. So good. I like it. It's a good film. And Robert Redford made Last Castle as well with James Gandolfini.
That was the I saw that movie at the cinemas, and it put me off James Gandolfini because I mean he's great. He's always been like a great kind of villain, but that deviated septum in Atmos quality 5.1 Dolby 5.1 sound, you just hear that like it was like it was like the sound bed of the film, and I was like, oh, just stop it! I can't stand it.
There's a lot of that too in his performance in True Romance. Do you remember that scene?
I don't remember who he was. Who's in True Romance?
He's the one that goes to beat up Patricia Arquette, and she corkscrews him through the foot.
Ah, yeah, right.
Yeah, that was James Gandolfini, wasn't it? Or was that Tom
I know
Sizemore? Let's have a look.
The first thing I remember him in was in Perdita Durango, where he's the cop following them who just constantly gets like beaten.
I could be wrong. I'm just going to look it up. In my mind, it's James Gandolfini. Yeah, it is James Gandolfini because he rips open his shirt and goes, stick it to me, you know, and yeah.
She sticks it to his foot.
Beats the shit out of her, but he's all like fat and sweaty and like you can hear that, yeah.
Well, like in Get Shorty. It's like he falls down the stairs. Well, John Travolta throws him down the stairs. Right. It's great.
There was a movie. I had a poster on my wall when I was a teenager that I had the poster there, but I'd never seen the film, and it wasn't until years later. Because I don't know why. Like I think I was a bit pretentious back then as a teenager, and it just looked like a cool movie, so I had to have the poster on my wall, even though I'd never seen the film. And it was the James Wood movie Killer: Journal of a Murder. Have you seen that? And it was produced by Oliver Stone, and damn, that was a good movie.
I don't know if I remember the cover of it.
It was essentially, I mean, it wasn't the greatest cover, but I kind of just felt cool having it up on my wall. It was essentially the prison bars with him sort of leaning back on a wall through them. Yeah, and that was good. And that's sort of back when I was going through an Oliver Stone phase because I sort of was obsessed with Natural Born Killers and just wanted to know everything this guy had done. And he produced that one. That's not a bad one.
Yeah, right. Just,
what about Scum with Ray Winston?
Yeah, I thought I'd seen Scum, but it turns out what I actually had seen was now I can't remember what it's called. What's the one with Tim Roth, where he's like in the?
Oh yeah.
Is it made around the same time? And he's in the kind of the
skinhead.
Yeah, he's like in the. He's not actually like he's not really a Nazi or anything. He's just in a reform school.
Yep.
He shaved his head more as a fuck you to authority than anything else.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I know the one you mean.
Yeah, what was that called? Not this is it's like This Is England, but it's not.
Yes,
This Is England.
It's cut from that cloth. Let's have a look. See, you can tell we don't plan these. Let's have a look. Tim Roth.
He's so good.
It's what you call bonus content, mate. It's bonus content.
Yeah, you're getting this for free because you pay for it. You pay for the podcast.
No one. I mean, there is a high price to pay listening to our podcast. It's not monetary though.
Yeah, it's you pay with your soul.
What is that movie? Fuck.
It'd be it might be his first film.
His first one's called The Hit, and I don't know that one. That's John Hurt.
Is it really The Hit? No.
Maybe it's a television movie.
No, it's Made in Britain. Yeah, Made in Britain. Is his first one from 1982.
The fuck?
The Hits is
okay, so yeah, the Wikipedia filmography only goes back to 84.
Well, I guess it is a TV movie where so many of those kind of British movies were kind of TV movies.
There it is. I just had to click on the television part, which is what I was doing at that point in time.
Yeah. I mean, the hit is fucking phenomenal. Like it's really good. But it's not a prison movie. But I only watched that for the first time, I think during COVID sometime. So within the last year and a bit.
Yeah.
But it's the Stephen Frears film with what's his name is in it, which is great. Bill Hunter pops up playing completely non-Bill Hunter, which is amazing. Like he's still playing an Aussie, but it's really weird. But it's is it John Hurt, Tim Roth, Terrence Stamp is in it. I think I'm pretty sure it's. I'm trying to get the characters right. It's John Hurt. John Hurt and Tim Roth are kind of standover men / hitmen who have been contracted to bump off Terrence Stamp. But they end up going on this kind of road trip with him. And I can't remember why they were trying to get
Oh well.
money or something. I can't remember the finer points of the detail, except that at one point they go and stay with a friend of Terrence. No, I think it's a friend of John Hurt's, and it's Bill Hunter, but he's like a skeezy Sydney kind of con man criminal type thing. And he's got like a hot girlfriend, but he's all fat and gross, and it's
is the hot girlfriend played by Terrence Stamp?
No.
All right. Well, we've pretty much, I think we've run the clock out on this video, and I wanted to end on a banger. Back by Midnight, Rodney Dangerfield, Randy Quaid. Do you know Back by Midnight was directed by the guy who wrote Meet Wally Sparks and The Fourth Tenor and My Five Wives and Free Money with Chevy Chase? What a comedy legend.
That's someone who should have made a Porridge style prison movie, is Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah. That would have been great. Hang on, here's I'll read you this because I don't want to put anyone off. But the IMDb synopsis for the hit is 10 years after ratting out on his old mobster friends in exchange for personal immunity, two hitmen drive a hardened criminal to Paris for his execution. However, while on the way, whatever can go wrong does go wrong. And it's, Terrence Stamp is the prisoner that they're transporting back.
Yep.
On her.
So hang on. So how do we have Terrence Stamp and Bill Hunter referenced again? I'm getting lost. Is this Priscilla?
No. This is the hit. They're in the hit.
Well, they're in Priscilla as well as lovers.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Wow.
Is in this.
So I just said that as a joke before, but lo and behold,
no, he's totally in it. He's totally in it. He's. I'll see if I can find what his character's name in this is.
Is it Bernice?
He's just called. He's just Harry.
Oh, okay.
But Laura Del Sol is his hot girlfriend. Who else is in it? Jim Broadbent pops up.
You can you just keep going down that rabbit hole there, mate, and I'll just sign off. And
makes me want to watch it again.
Oh, you go do that, and I'll catch you on Thursday night.
All right.